What's up, guys? Welcome to the Farris Weekly. Today we're going to be bringing you the 2025 end-of-year market update. We're going to be talking about some key indicators and how they might affect you.
All right, guys, I'm going to touch base real quick on the existing home market here in Ada County, and afterwards, Mike over here will touch base on the new construction market. Starting off, solds are up year over year and down month over month. Pendings are also up year over year and down month over month. And lastly, active listings also up year over year and down month over month. This tells us a few things. One being that the Boise metro area is continuing to grow, or Ada County, should I say specifically, is continuing to grow. There's a ton of new businesses, ton of new restaurants, ton of new developments coming our way, and ultimately Boise remains a hot spot to be. In regards to the decrease of these numbers, this also is telling us potentially a few things. One, typically when the colder months come around, holidays and wintertime are here, less sellers are listing their home on the market, and buyers don't want to be making a move during that time as well. Another thing that might be causing this decrease month over month is some personal perceptions on the economy that might be impacting buyers and sellers from pulling trigger and making a move right now. Had to grab an energy real quick. Energy drink. Oh yeah.
In new home construction, inventory is up year over year, over 200 homes. In closed sales and pending sales year over year, the numbers are almost identical. What we have seen is month over month, those numbers have decreased slightly. Again, similar to existing homes. Some is due to seasonality and some is due to buyers having some uncertainties related to a couple of things that they're always interested in. Typically rates, interest rates, which we'll talk about later, and just some general uncertainty.
All right, guys, looking at the existing home market numbers again, and during the year of 2025, the median sales price, which we typically like to use and tell you about because that, in my opinion, is more relevant, was $529,900. Now, the average home price during the year of 2025 was $626,975. The reason we like median over average is because those really big $5 million, $4 million, $3 million homes raises that number up, the average home price number up by a lot. And I just feel like the median price gives you a more accurate representation of what, if you looked at 100 homes, where they would be priced at. So I don't have year over year for the median, but I do have year over year for the average. With that said, during the year of 2025, existing homes appreciated 2.9%. So if you're a buyer that doesn't own right now, that is working against you, I would say, because homes are more expensive. If you're a seller, that's working for you because the home that you bought in 2024 that was $609,000 is worth $626,000. So you've gained, $17,000 in equity, and after 5-10 years, that's a lot of money. So that's where we're at with home prices in the existing home market. What about new construction? Big cat.
So in new construction, we'll keep on those same metrics. The median home price in new construction in Ada County was $549,000. The average home price was $655,000 in Ada County. So again, as Jake pointed out, lots of value increase, equity increase if you had bought in 2024. In fact, in new construction, home prices increased at a little over 6% in value. So those numbers definitely point to the equity that's gained and the value of home ownership.
Yeah, and what was that? What was the jump from 24 to 25?
Average price went from $617,000 to $655,000.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Next thing we're going to talk about is inventory. Right now, again, in the existing home market, inventory is low. It's really low. It's 1.4 months of inventory.
Wow.
What that means is that it is a seller's market. There's less competition if you're listing your home right now. We had this conversation the other day, actually, we were talking about this. The conclusion that we came to was just that whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, there's ways to win as both a buyer or a seller. Just because it's a seller's market doesn't mean that every seller is selling their home for full price or getting 10 offers with over asking price. That's really why it's important to have good qualified representation, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and having someone that knows the market and can negotiate on your behalf in the best way possible. Let's see what you got to say about the new construction.
So the new construction inventory is slightly higher at 3.7 months worth of inventory, which means that if no new homes were built and went onto the market in just over 3.5 months, all new construction would be gone. That still is a pretty low inventory as far as it being a seller's market. However, in new construction, that's slightly different in that, as I said earlier, construction is continuing as long as the weather permits, which it does right now. And as buyers look at new construction, they have a little bit more opportunity to negotiate with builders, especially as the new year begins and promos start to hit, which we'll talk about shortly.
Isn't 4 to 6 months what they tell you is like a balanced market?
4 to 6, some people say 4 to 6 months, others say 5 to 7 months as a balanced market. But in both cases, we're definitely by the numbers in what would be considered a seller's market.
I think that only tells you so much, because if it was really a seller's market, then why are builders giving buyers $30,000 to come buy one of their homes? Same with buying new construction. It's a seller's market, but buyers are still getting seller concessions. I think it's good to understand where the market's at, not solely make your decisions based on that, because there's ways to win. The next thing we're going to talk about were where the rates are at right now. Over the last 6 months or so, they've slowly been trending down. Rates are sitting right around 6%. I think FHA, you can get like mid 5.5 to 6%. That said, there have been studies, I guess, I don't know where they got these numbers, polls, that there's like 5 million potential buyers waiting for rates to get below 6%. So I think that there's still continues to be some pent up demand in the market, and I think as more listings hit the market heading into the springtime and as it gets warmer, more buyers might hop into the market. Mike, we'll talk real quick about my brother. His son just got into a new construction home with a crazy rate. With rates where they're at right now is a good time to get into a home. I always tell my friends, my family, everybody, you should buy. I guess I'm referring to first-time home buyers. You should buy a house as soon as you're in a comfortable position to do so. And right now, with rates where they're at and how incentivized buyers are, it's as easy as it's gonna get, I would say, to get into a place at a decent monthly payment.
So with regards to new construction, the main difference when it comes to incentives, or I call it promos, the main difference is that sellers, builders, will offer different incentive packages than, say, an existing home seller. As Jake referenced earlier, my son he's about to close on a new construction home, and they had a great promo, and it dealt specifically with being able to start at a lower interest rate than we've been talking about, and those funds that they were able to get from the builder also were able to be used for other costs as a buyer would face. For example, not only buying the rate down, but also closing costs and other things that they could do to the house that they're buying. This is a big reason, we're not lenders, this is a big reason that it's really important for us to direct you to, or you to be working with a very qualified, trusted lender, because they live with those numbers every day, can really guide you in that process of what rates mean, and most importantly, what your payment's going to be, which is everybody's biggest concern.
With all of this said, guys, I hope you got some good information out of this video. Hope we provided some value to you. And in the future, if you have any questions regarding real estate, the Boise metro area, please reach out, drop a comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will be seeing you next week for the Farris Weekly. Oh yeah.